Here we have the Victorinox Mechanic, market identifier number 5555441, or 55,441 in the United States. And in the catalog, for the rest of the world, it is 1,1423 V6, 46, 23, a 3-layer model that can have up to 13 functions, or up to 16 depending on the era and how we install it ourselves. Well, let's see the tools, which are quite basic. Here we have the can opener with a screwdriver. On the other side, they will all have a stop, right? On the bottle opener, they will all weigh 90 grams due to the dates of this knife. I was telling you, it has a bottle opener, a wire stripper or cable unscrewer, and the widest screwdriver. The small blade, the largest blade. And here, I will show you, if the camera allows me, because I say it was one of the latest additions. There you can see 3 lines. On the other side, Officier Swiss. Go down to the bottom section, where you can find the star tool. On this channel, the star tool is the Phillips screwdriver. Another reason why it's from the latest edition is that this knife will have the pin. It doesn't actually come with the pin, it comes with the hole to put the pin in. But this also shows that it's not one of the first. And here we'll have the reaming punch with eyelet, ring, and handle tools. There's the tweezers and the toothpick. And now, yes, the tool that distinguishes it from a tinker, for example. Hey, what are these tweezers, also from the latest times? Because, as you can see, there's not only the tweezers, here we have the wire cutters in this part, and the terminal crimper in this part here. At first, the Mechanic would only have 13 functions. Hey, one is the pin issue, and the other is that these tweezers were different and of a different size, as Jose Calderon is not going to show now. This is one of the first Victorinox Mechanic, I think from the year 86 or thereabouts, okay? And its difference with later models is that the pliers are slightly narrower there. Are more current models, okay? My right hand, Gusilio, one from Tinker, my left hand, the pliers from Mechanic. These mechanisms, Mechanic, 2.5 millimeter thick, Tinker, 3 millimeter. In addition, current models have terminal presses like this one, and the leg of the pliers where the spring touches. The Mechanic one does not have a hole for the spring, okay? The inner part and the spring are flat. The leg of the spring is flat so that it rubs against the flat part of the leg of the pliers. And the current one, the current pliers have a sore on the leg of the pliers, and the spring is curved. The tip has a little curve. From what Jose showed, it is proven that they began to be made in 1986. And now we are going to go to this one without a name. We are going to take out the mechanic here, and this is number 1.3623. Which will have almost everything. Here we will have the same can opener with a small screwdriver. The same will happen with the bottle opener, cable stripper, and the larger screwdriver. The blade in this case will have 4 lines. 4 lines. And the Swiss officer on this side will have a crossbow that, let's see if you can see it well. The cross never touches the crossbow. See it poorly? Then, I'll share the photo. It will also have the small blade that I don't know if I already showed it. The toothpick, the tweezers, the ring, the reamer, and what you are seeing has a corkscrew. What this one will not have is a hole for a pin, because apparently it was available between '86 and something like 8 or 10 years ago. Look how I left the ring. Sorry. So, the only difference between these two is the Phillips versus the corkscrew. Okay, and both of them had the 3 stages of the clamp, that is, knee, when it was 2.5, when it was 3 aus, but without terminal presses or wire cutters. And this one, Sabige, which is more current, Sabige Sum. I would dare say that by the marking and the type of clamp it would also be around the years 94 to 96. So it would also be almost one of the last to be manufactured. Let's go to the dealer's scale to see if there is a difference in weight. Let's start with the mechanical one. Let's see. The weight is 98.2 G. 98.2 grams for the mechanical one, and the unnamed one that weighs 96.7. A little lighter, not much, but a little lighter for the unnamed one. Let's see the width of both. Let's start with the mechanical one, Wen, which would be 1.8 centimeters or 180 millimeters. There it is. And the unnamed one. There it is. Also 180 millimeters for both. Let's quickly move on to the different variations or special editions of these Victorinox. On the one hand, we'll go with a model that has a corkscrew, and the first special edition can be found in 1991. To commemorate the 700th anniversary of the Swiss Confederation. It's the Rutley Oath, where on this Victory X we'll have on the handle the representation of the 3 cantons taking the oath of 1291. And the main blade, with an engraving of this occasion. On the other hand, we'll find an edition of the Italian army that Ettore Odorica shows us here. Victorinox Mechanic with corkscrew. This one is a bit rare. It belongs to a limited series for the Italian market. A collection of a few knives in different sizes with symbols of different Italian military units. This one in particular represents the Lagunari, which is an amphibious unit based in Venice. On the other hand, regarding the Mechanic itself, that is, of the version with Phillips, we are going to find a version made with hardwood handles, bow, which is what we are seeing in the center of the photo. And on the sides, ooh, the real Mechanic Special. That is why I avoided calling the Junior, or this edition made by Radio Shack, a special. Regarding the ones we are seeing, she, the two sides, she, which are the special mechanics, she, it must be said that it came in blue, light blue, and yellow. And the one on the other end is light blue and light red. The identification number is 1.4623-4623033. And another model would be the one with the Boy Scout inlay, me, which we could see in the 1996 catalog. The Victorinox Mechanic with Phillips came out between 1986 and 2005. In 2006, it would no longer appear in the catalog. Do you want to know the whole story? You can see it in members. The most difficult version is a compact edition made for Radio Shack. You can see that in this,